Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. And this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be giving my overall view thoughts on some of Oxford Diecast's newest emergency vehicles from the Oxford emergency range that I have in my collection so far and give my overall view thoughts. So without further ado, I'm going to start this video. So as you can see, I have two Volvo fire engines and a Mercedes ambulance. The first fire engine on the end is from the Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service. If you haven't seen that video yet that I did the review of, be sure to go check that one out. And then the next one in the middle is from South Wales Fire and Rescue, and uh, the ambulance is from the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Service. And I have to say, these are pretty cool vehicles. Um, got a lot of detailing on them. They look pretty nice and similar to the thing in real life. Um, gonna take a bit of a look here now at some of them. So the first one I'm gonna take a look at right here that I have. This one is the Greater Manchester Volvo FL Emergency One Pump Ladder. This is the second one that I got in my collection that just recently arrived. And this is a pretty nice one, I have to say. I really like the way that it looks, with all their detailing on it. Um, it's a pretty nice one. The writing is a little bit small where it says Greater Manchester. Try to zoom in as best I can. I don't think it's going to turn out that well, so if it doesn't turn out, I do apologize. But that's what the little writing says, Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service. Um, you can see right across the front, it has the Volvo sign on it, which is pretty cool. It says fire written in reverse. And then turning it around to the other side, this is pretty cool as well. It's pretty much the same detailing on the other side. Um, got got the same thing that the Scania fire engines have, the three ladders, the small one, the big one in the middle, and then the other one on this side. I think I'd have to relook at some of my Scania ones, but there's this little light right here, or a camera of some sort right here, which is pretty cool. It's another interesting detail on it. So that's the Greater Manchester fire engine. The South Wales fire engine is the next one. This was the first one that I got in my collection from the emergency range that I bought a while ago. I'm going to turn off that light for a second. In small writing, it says Decymru, or Decymru, South Wales. I don't know really how that's pronounced. And there is some small writing on it as well on the cab. I'll try to zoom in and see. I don't think it's going to turn out in the video as well, but I'll do my best with it. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to zoom out real quick. So right here on the bottom part of the door, it's got the South Wales dot fire.gov UK, fire.gov.uk it looks like. And then at the door it says www.decymru slash TAN it looks like, or something, not really too sure, .gov.uk. It's pretty cool it has that on there. I'm going to try to zoom in. Um, it may not turn up the writing, but it does say what I said it says on the right up here. There's two small blue lights, which is pretty cool on that one. Turning it around to the front. Zoom back just a little bit. You can see where it's showing the Volvo sign going across the front, which is pretty nice. And turning it around to the other side, right here, um, it's pretty much the same thing like the Manchester one, which is pretty cool. Uh, Also, it's got the same thing the Scania ones do with the ladders, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, it's got that camera right here along the side, which is pretty nice. So it's a pretty cool one. So I'm going to zoom out. So I'm also looking for, they have a Scania pump ladder from South Wales as well. So I'm trying to find that one and get that for my collection to go with this one. So that would be pretty interesting to have that. But I'm still looking for it. But the Volvo pump ladder is pretty cool. The next one, I also got this the same day that I got the Greater Manchester fire engine. This one is the Mercedes ambulance, and this one's from Bedfordshire. And this is a pretty cool one. It's a little bit different. It's a technical support unit, pretty similar to some of the other ambulances that Oxford has made in the past. But this is a pretty cool one right here. Got quite a bit of detailing on it. Pretty much the same thing like with the back of them. They have that the door and then that thing next to it on the side right there, which is pretty cool. It's always an interesting detail that they have on their ambulances. And then turning it around, it's the same thing on the other side. Pretty, a little bit different from, there's no windows or anything on this side on the back, which is different, but there is that door right there, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty nice one. Also, too, the light bar across the top at the rear, and then gonna have to dim the light. Got the other light bar going across the top, and then you see the crest in the middle on top right there. And then the difference on this one is it says fire written across the hood. I looked at a few of my other ambulances, and I don't think they have fire written across the hood, which is different. That's pretty cool. And of course, they always have the Mercedes symbol on the front of them, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to zoom out. And now, having taken another look at some of these, I'm going to give my overall view thoughts on this collection. So now, I have to say I really like these emergency vehicles that Oxford has made, especially these new ones. Really nicely detailed, have a lot to them, quite a bit to say about them. I really enjoyed doing the reviews of these. And there's a few other emergency vehicles that they released in the Oxford emergency range. I mentioned the Scania pump ladder from South Wales that they have, but there's two other ones. There are two other Volvo pump ladders. One is from West Sussex and the other one is from West Yorkshire. So I'm still looking for those three as well, along with some other vehicles that they have that aren't emergency. But those are the other three that I'm looking for. Those three fire engines. So if I ever come across those, I'll be sure to get those in my collection and do reviews of them. But I have to say, so far, I really like the looks of these new vehicles that Oxford has released in the Oxford emergency range, as they're pretty nicely detailed, like all of them are. But it's always nice to see Oxford release something new. Um, I liked I like their Scania selection, but I've taken a liking to their new Volvo FL Emergency One pump ladder fire engines that they've started making, and I think they're pretty cool. Can't wait to get some more in my collection like that. Um, but so far, these three, this is a pretty nice selection right here. I like having at least one ambulance in them, and I like the fact that they're all from different cities, so they're pretty nice. So this is a nice collection. So if you like Oxford Diecast emergency vehicles, especially in the 176 scale range, These new releases that they've released are definitely ones to get for your collection, especially if you're an enthusiast on collecting their vehicles, or especially even the emergency vehicles like these ones. Then I'd highly recommend getting them for your collection, as this is pretty cool and they're pretty great. So um, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for them. They're really great and got a really nice detail, and they go great with the 176 scale collection that I have so far. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please be sure you stay tuned for the next one.